All right. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. So I wanted to just come on and do a quick little, called a mini class on finding deals or finding properties. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to be focusing on cash flow, right? That's what this group is about. It's about passive income real estate. So when you are looking to start investing in a market and you want to get some deal flow coming in, there's a handful of different ways that you can do it. You can look for wholesalers who are wholesaling properties in the area. You can try to contact owners directly. You can look for distressed sellers. You can send out lots of letters. You can spend lots of money on postage doing that. So you could do things all sorts of different ways. The way that Jennifer and I have always operated, and we prefer to operate, not that we haven't done all those things, we have done all of those things, but what we find is there's certain strategies that you can employ when you're trying to find deals that minimize the amount of time you're spending, which allows you to do more with less time, which then lets you do more deals. All right, so what I wanted to do is just kind of walk you through that. So what that looks like is really leveraging the time of your team. So we are big proponents, if you haven't picked this up already from the different videos and stuff, I'll just tell you, we're big proponents of learning to invest remotely because you don't always live in a place where the market makes sense for your strategy. So for example, we live in San Diego, California. And if we want to buy cash flow, not really much of a thing here. I was doing some research and found out last night that San Diego has the lowest cap rate in the entire United States right now. So, and that basically means the prices are like as high as it can be compared to the net operating income that we would get. So it just doesn't make any sense for us to invest here for cash flow. So in order for us to be able to have a portfolio and invest in properties and have cash flow coming in, we have to go somewhere else. So that's how we do remote investing. So let's say I'm just starting from scratch in any market USA. How am I going to start getting deals coming in the fastest way? So from the standpoint of leverage, if you think of who is it in that market that has access to the most properties the most quickly, right? It's going to be the real estate agents and the MLS. And it's interesting because I've been training for 5 years. I was doing one-on-ones. I'd be, flying people's homes in different parts of the country. We would be investing literally all over the country. So I've got a pretty good bead on a lot of different things, right? From that standpoint. When I talk to people who have taken like maybe some wholesale courses or something else, what they'll oftentimes say is, well, you can't get deals off the MLS, right? And even some wholesalers in market say, oh, you have to get off market. There's no deals on MLS. It's already been picked through. And it's funny, I think that it starts to become something that people just say because someone else said it and they're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So they say it too. But the reality is I have been training people for 5 years and we've gotten deals all day long in every market USA from the regular multiple listing service. So, but I have my students going in and digging through properties and looking themselves. It takes a lot of time. Plus, you kind of need to know what it would resell for if it's a flip or what it could refinance for if you were using the BRRRR strategy for a rental. So you're going to have a real estate agent to help you with that, or you're going to spend so much time researching every single property that frankly, you're just not going to get very much done and you're not going to get very far. So what I want to talk to you about today is how to leverage real estate agents in the local market that you're looking to invest in order to get deal flow coming in. So for starters, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so Zillow is a website that many of you are probably already familiar with. You've heard of it before. What I find that is a lot of new investors, what you'll do or what they will do is they'll go to Zillow and say, okay, well, let me click on buy and see what's available. Wow, there's 1,264 results. I feel overwhelmed, right? And you don't get very far because it's just so much data. So instead of going and looking for properties, what we're instead going to do is go to Agent Finder, click there. And so let's say we're looking in Atlanta, Georgia. Now that was just random. I'm not suggesting Atlanta is a good or bad market, just a random market. All right, so when I put in Atlanta and I hit enter, it pulls up this list of real estate agents. But if you go down to the bottom, you can see there's, wow, 25 pages of them. Okay, so there's lots of different ones. So what you're going to be doing when you're looking for agents is having conversations with as many as you can. And this is an area that people tend to have a lot of fear around in the beginning, just because it's new, it's unknown. You don't feel like you know what you're saying yet because the vernacular is new, or you've never done it in an outside market before. So it really takes reps and reps and reps. And you can't be too concerned with how any one call goes, because frankly, you're just practicing in the beginning. And eventually, everything you say comes out very fluidly just because you've said it so many times. So what you want to do is you want to communicate to the agent you're talking to what exactly you're looking for. So for example, let's say that you are really interested in doing the BRRRR strategy where you buy it, you renovate it, you get it rented, and then you refinance, and then you pull out some or all of your capital and you go do it again. So what I would want to do is I'd want to communicate to my agent that, look, what I'm looking to do is buy something that's a fixer. And for cash flow purposes, I always focus on 2 to 4 units, okay, if I'm having this conversation. So I'm not usually looking for a single family home. Not that you can't, it's just single family homes tend to be a little riskier from the cash flow perspective, because of course, if you have no tenant, your tenant moves out, you don't have another tenant to offset your mortgage and your expenses. So from that standpoint, I like having at least 2 units, ideally 4, and then eventually, for you to be in apartments, but we'll stick to 2 to 4 for now for this conversation. So I want to tell them I'm looking for fixer-uppers that are 2 to 4 units that I can go in, do a nice renovation on it, get it rented out, and then refinance, and then do another one with you. You have to think about things from the perspective of the real estate agent. A lot of times these properties aren't super, super expensive, so they're not going to make a ton of commission on each one. So what you want to really sell them on is volume, that you're looking to do one, and then another, and then another. And once you get a little bit more active in the market, you might do 2 or 3 at a time. And you're really looking for a go-to agent that can be part of your team that you can just buy these properties with. All right, so you want to be prepared with that conversation. Again, you have it over and over and over. One of the things that's going to happen when you start doing that, if you've never done it before, it's going to scare the heck out of you. It's okay. Feel the fear and do it anyway. All right, because if you want to have a portfolio, if you want to have cash flow, if you want to have a retirement that you have control of, and it's not Social Security, it's not the government, it's not a pension that has control over it, then you're going to have to do some scary things in order to get where you want to go. And it's okay. No real harm is going to come to you, right? No one's going to reach through the phone and like stab you. It might feel like that, but they're not, right? There's no physical harm. So it's just a mental game you have to play to get over the hump and do it. But anyway, one of the things that's going to happen when you start making calls is the agents are going to start asking some clarifying questions. So there's a couple things for the people that are in our mastermind. Obviously, we have the whole course that is like literally what exactly to say, in what order to say it. And here's all the different questions that are going to come up. But it's a really big section because there is a lot to it. And if you want to get good deal flow coming in, you got to get good on the phone with talking to realtors, right? But nobody starts being good in the beginning. But one thing I want to do is just give you a little bit of a tip when you're new to make things easier is if you would go to the bottom of Zillow down here, and you see some of these other pages, if you click next a few times, oops, skipped it. All right, let me go to page 3 and then go down and go to page 4. Okay, so if you're going a handful of pages in, you're not dealing with the page 1 Zillow realtors. When I used to train people one-on-one, I'd always go to page 1 because they're the top performers, but they're also the most experienced, and they're the most difficult when you're brand new to have a conversation with, where they don't just chew you up and spit you out, right? So, if I'm sitting right next to you, I don't care about doing that because it's, if you get stuck, I'll just jump in and start talking, right? But that's not what we're talking about here. And I want you to be able to make these calls. So if you go a few pages in, maybe 4, 5, 6 pages into Zillow and start calling some of those realtors, you have a higher chance of getting realtors who they're not necessarily page 1, so they might be a little bit hungrier, more willing to work with someone who's new. Not that you need to say that you're new. What you can say if they say, well, have you done this before? I can say, oh yeah, I have a couple of partners, and I mean, we've been doing real estate for 17 years, right? When I say we've been doing real estate, I can be the other side of we. I have been doing real estate for 17 years. So you can say, oh yeah, well, we've been doing it for 17 years. My partners, done real estate all over the country. We're just trying to open up a new market, and this one's on me. We all get assigned a different market, and this one's on me to open up. So that can help explain why maybe you're not super fast to answer questions right away as you're getting going. And it's okay to let them know, yeah, normally my partner handles this part. So, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. If I don't have the answer, I'll get the answer and call you back. All right. And just be willing to engage in those conversations, because those realtors are the source of your leads coming in. And so that you don't have to spend time pouring through thousands of potential properties and you have no idea from looking at them whether they're good or not. So if you tell the realtor, I'm looking for 2 to 4 unit fixers that I can buy, renovate, and resell, and what I'm going to need is the listing and also the comps, the comparable sales, because the comparable sales are going to show you what the property could be worth once it's renovated. All right, so when you have that information coming to you, you're having a deal coming to you, that cuts out about 95% of the time that you would spend searching for a property and then digging around trying to find the comps. Right, so you're going to leverage realtors, despite what anyone says. If anyone says, oh, well, realtors, you can't get any good deal, that's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. Or it's probably not that, like an intentional lie, but it's just incorrect. You can absolutely get a good deal. I will tell you that probably 90% of our portfolio and 90% of the purchases that we've made over the past 17 years have been MLS properties. So I've done some for sale by owner and some wholesalers and, a couple of strategies like that, but it takes a lot more time to find them and there's a lot fewer of them. So don't neglect the MLS. And on top of it, you can, leverage the realtors who have access to that MLS and have them do the work for you so that you can spend a couple of hours talking to realtors and go about your life and then let them look for deals for you instead of you spending days getting as far as you could get in just a couple of hours by leveraging those realtors. Anyway, so I hope that's helpful. I'm going to show you one other way to do it, though it's difficult to do this if you don't have a team in place in the market, but I'm still going to make you aware of it in case you can use it at some point. So Craigslist is, most people are familiar with Craigslist. So I just pulled up Craigslist Atlanta, Georgia. So what you can do is you can go over to housing, which is in the middle at the top, go down to real estate for sale. All right, and then you're going to have all the different stuff that people put on Craigslist. Sometimes agents advertise here, sometimes it's wholesalers, sometimes it's for sale by owners. So let's say that you were looking for something that you could potentially do the BRRRR strategy on. So what's the underlying thing about the BRRRR strategy? It's got to be a fixer, right? So let's type in fixer, fixer upper, and see what comes up. Okay, so here we go. Must see fixer upper. Now, I don't know if this is going to make sense as a rental property, but so you'll be looking through to see like what else is out there. Do they have any like fixer upper duplexes? Might be a little bit harder. So anyway, you can look through to see there. Another thing that you can do is maybe type in duplex and see what comes up. Bakersfield, California. Well, that's a little bit confusing, but that's okay. Was unexpected. Okay, so we have wholesale price deal, Douglasville, duplex near Marietta. All right, so here's some possible opportunities, and you can basically click on these and go to see like who is it that's selling it. And see right here, it says show contact information. So if you click on that, well, assuming it opens up, there we go. It's thinking. Anyway, so it will open up and give you a phone number. And what you can do is just call that number and say, hey, I saw your listing and I'm an investor and I'm looking to, buy some 2 to 4 unit fixers in the area. I wanted to see if you have anything like that, or if I could get on your list. Because a lot of times who's advertising on Craigslist are wholesalers. So that could be a really good source of properties for you as well. Yeah, I mean, just from this picture alone, it looks like this would be, a potential, right? If it's a duplex, it looks like that, kind of has BRRRR strategy written all over it, potentially. So anyway, those are 2 different ways. This is a little bit more time consuming. This will allow you to leverage your time, but both are, great ways to get started. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. Although this is coming on live, I'm doing this in Zoom. So if you're making comments or asking questions, I can't see them right now, but I will go back and take a look. So if you have questions, you can look on there and I'll go ahead and provide you some answers. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope that was helpful for you. And we'll talk to you soon. Oh, and Jen is doing at 4 p.m., which is in only 4 p.m. Pacific, which is only 24 minutes from now, is doing a class that's in the events on mindset. What is it called again?
Warrior mindset.
Ooh, warrior mindset. So if you want to attend that, go to the events and you can log in and register in the Zoom call, and she'll be doing it live with you guys. And it's going to be awesome. I'm telling you what, mindset is 90% of it. I can teach you all day long, all the specifics. Oh, call realtors, do this, do that. And I can teach you very, very well on the real estate side. But if your mindset isn't right, and if you have a scarcity mentality or a fear mentality that's keeping you from being able to take the steps that I'm teaching you, you're not going to get very far. So if you struggle with that at all, which is probably most people do at some point, jump on that call with Jen. She's amazing, and she's going to do some cool demonstrations on there and help release some fears and get people rocking. So anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I can't wait to see you on Wednesday at the Live at 5. Take care.